Wales in Bavaria. I'm on medication. It's Metro Night is all, if you're curious. For this shit. It's not doing anything though, so cool. Yeah, this is definitely the best opening ever. Good evening, people of the internet. Today it is Tales from the Crypt. It's not Tuesday Tales, it's Wednesday Tales. Wednesday now gets a tail. Anyways, this is actually another good episode. On my first watch, I didn't really like this episode a whole lot, but as I was editing the video, through my second watch, as I was dissecting everything, I actually found that it was rather a little bit more of a thought-provoking one than the standard goofiness that Tales of the Crypt normally possesses. So, yeah, I actually enjoyed this episode. I think it was done really well, and it was just different from the rest of the show, which is why it felt a little off. But other than that, it was great. So, I'll see you at the end. Lower berth. Alrighty. Oh, full screen.
There. Isn't he just so cute that you wanna? Whoops. Crypt Keeper here, kiddies. And speaking of kiddies, tonight's sickening saga should be subtitled A Tale from the Crib. Yes, dear fans, I've got a real nursery crime for you this time. It's all about the humble beginnings of my favorite horror hero. So call the babysitter and break out the bath bags as I narrate a nauseating novella with a very special place in my heart. I affectionately call this one Lower Berth.
Lower berth. 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 That's a weird word. I don't think I know what that is. So, berth is a weird word. I know what it means now in reference to the show, but as I was watching it, I was still confused on why the fuck this was called lower berth. But it's a play on words. So, berth is a ship's allotted place at wharf or dock, a fixed bed or bunk on a ship, train, or other means of transport. A ship, in its allotted place of a passenger ship provided a sleeping place for someone. So, it's like a place to sleep, right? Or sometimes it can be like give it a wide berth. That means like move out of the fucking way, give it lots of room, right? The other that I found, oh my nose, woo. Upper and lower berths are old terms that apply to the location of beds. Lower berths are on the floor deck, while the upper berths are above. On modern cruise ships, some cabins will have one or two upper berths, which either fold out of the wall, the bulkhead, or drop down from the ceiling. In most cases, they are used for a third or fourth person who is sharing the cabin. Hank. Thank you for that, Hank. So, I get what it means now. This is a long tangent. The first tangent of the video. I will tell you at the end of the video. Ooh, you gotta stay tuned. Was this a period piece? It's like 1920s or something? That's cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, step right up and be prepared to gasp, to swoon, to feast your disbelieving eyes on the most astounding array of freaks and oddities ever gathered together under one tent. Step right up right this way. For one thin dime and 10th part of a dollar, you may avail yourself of this fantastic...
Yeah, just a dime. Fuck, I can afford that. Let's go see a fat bitch. That's really bad. Honestly, I probably would have been one of those, to be honest. Whoa. Is that a twin?
What do you think you're doing? Hey? You're a naughty boy. You hear me? Naughty. Come on. Come on. Introducing Fanny, the fat lady.
It's crazy to think that us humans really just took fat people and put them in a cage and laughed at them. I mean, it's just so weird. My God,
The littles.
If you need any evidence that we're animals, then, well, there you go.
How'd you get out of there? Huh? Tell me. And finally, ladies ladies and gentlemen, the star attraction at Feely's fantastic fairway of freaks. The most alarming and unusual oddity ever to be put on display anywhere, anytime, any place.
No, no more. You're done with it, see?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, look upon Enoch, the two-faced man.
I'm not sure exactly what his ailment is, but I do think that the other twin is alive, I think, or at least not functionally aware of everything that's happening. If the twin did die, I think that would cause a lot of problems, which will be happening. And supposedly when a conjoined twin dies, obviously they start to necrose, right? Is necrose the proper term for that? They become necrotic. They start rotting. Simple as that. And it starts to affect the other twin, which makes them slowly perish, which I think does actually happen in the show. Also, people are fucking animals. I mean, yeah. The fact that we used to round up what we considered to be different or strange and then just, put them in a cage and laugh at them, I mean, that's, what other evidence do you need to see that we're just fucking animals, man? Which is, well, yeah. That's an actual,
How many times, Sickles? How many
condition,
times
though,
do I
isn't
have to tell you to get him in his cage before showtime?
Yes, Mr. Feely. I don't know how he gets out. It won't happen again.
Of that you may be sure, Mr. Sickles, because the next time it does happen, then I shall be happy to discuss with you the retirement of your most amazing Enoch.
Oh, wait a minute, Mr. Feely. Without me and Enoch, you're no different than any other two-bit sideshow. He's the only thing you got that's different. Enoch is special.
Enoch is dying. Did you really think you could bribe the company doctor to keep it from me? Well, apparently your freak isn't the only one with two faces, is he?
So here's the crux of the situation. An abuser father... I'm just laughing because in my notes I just wrote fucking die son. It just looks so weird. I had no fucking clue what I meant. Okay, no, I get it. Restart. So here's the crux of the situation. There's an abusive father, a son that's dying, and he can't possibly make money in a different way, right? I'm assuming it's a son, which also makes the situation just 10 million times fucking worse. I mean, he's got to do something to make money, right? I mean, too bad his son that he abuses all the time isn't going to fake and make him more money. So what to do next?
No, Sickles, your meal ticket's godforsaken life is winding toward a merciful end. So please don't tell me how much I need you. We'll play it out as long as it takes, a month, a week. But as long as you own him, then I own you. And we do things my way. Understand, Mr. Sickles?
We do things my way.
Been a very naughty boy, Enoch. You hear me? Naughty boy. Naughty. Enoch's special. Everything he is.
I see you prefer a lower berth.
Who are you? How'd you get in here?
The door, Mr. Sickles. Call me unconventional.
How about I call a policeman?
Oh, I don't think you want to do that.
Oh, no? Why not?
On my second watch, I thought this introduction was great. The lighting was perfect, and he seems like devilish. Obviously he's going to be the con man, of course. And this is the perfect example of storytelling through imagery and action rather than exposition, just from the introduction to the other character, from the character to the... We know he's nefarious. Not necessarily evil. I wouldn't say evil, but he's nefarious. He's... My thesaurus is not working today. I don't know, I can't think. He's a con man. Next part.
I'm your salvation, that's why. Dr. Zachary Kling, at your service. Please. Please.
I was expecting Andre Lenoge.
Don't let me interrupt your supper.
At your service, you say? What kind of service may that be?
It just so happens I've recently made an acquisition. An acquisition from which we both might benefit, if you take my meaning.
I was playing a gentleman in St. Louis recently. As it happens, a gentleman of distinction on 2 counts. One, he was an archaeologist by trade, and secondly, he couldn't play poker for shit. When it became clear that this gentleman was going to owe me quite a large sum of money, not strictly in his possession, it became imminently clear that something of equal worth would have to be bartered as collateral. Her name's Mirana, Mr. Sickles. Egyptian slave girl, it was explained to me. Buried alive at 16 for repelling the Pharaoh's advances. Rather a high price for playing hard to get, wouldn't you say?
The only thing that bothers me about the origin of Myrna, or Mirana, or whatever, is she's a slave that was mummified and buried with jewelry? That makes no sense. They didn't do that. If you were mummified, you were like a person of importance, right? They didn't mummify just absolutely everybody. It was usually someone who had some power over their civilization, or at least to my knowledge. At the very least, a standard person wouldn't be buried with jewelry. It didn't really work like that. So, I do believe it's because he's a con man. And he is selling this story to sell Myrna, or Murano, I can't remember, Myrna or Murano, whatever, to sell Myrna Murana at a higher price. It's like a mysterious story. It's like a slave girl who was playing hard to get, got punished, and was buried alive, which they didn't bury people alive mummified anyways, but whatever. It's to sell the con, and I think that's really clever.
Never able to bear children. Never able to have a normal life. It's sad, really. She's yours for a 60-40 split. Do we have a deal or not?
What's the catch?
I'm afraid I don't follow you.
It's a business of playing people for suckers. Don't play me for one. What do you need me for? Why don't you go straight to Feely?
Mr. Sickles, as I said, I'm a gambling man. I play to win, and winners tend to make enemies, if you take my meaning. In all candor, I need to keep a low profile for a while. The less official my connection with the sideshow, the better.
What about the jewels?
Oh, completely worthless, Mr. Sickles, a mere prop. Consider yourself my agent, if you like. I think a 40% commission is more than equitable. I mean, after all, considering your present situation... Good.
This is actually a really good setup. On my first watch, I didn't really feel it so much. But on my second watch, I really loved how the con man was being played. I thought it was, like, right on point. The way that he's talking, it almost sounds like Trelawney from Red Dead Redemption 2, which I thought was kind of entertaining. But he is playing the perfect con man. Very... Boy's not the right word. I just can't think of any word I want to say right now.
Why?
Oh my god, I can't think. Just words. He's good. I can shit my brain right now.
So step right up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and avail yourself of this interesting exhibit. That's the idea. Hurry along, lads. Here we are, sir, to accommodate you all. Yes, step right in, sir.
Whoa, look at what that cache looks like. What is the time period?
Elizabeth! Come here. Come here.
Here.
Elizabeth, get over here now. What do you think you're doing?
I really like this scene. It showed how even though his only experience with other humans is wretched, he is still receptive to humans and has a caring nature, which just adds more sadness to the sadness sandwich that is this episode. He's clearly a caring individual, and he has empathy in his heart left to give, even though his entire life, presumably, he has been mistreated to unbelievable levels. So it's just kind of, yeah, like I said, it adds sadness to the sadness sandwich.
Enoch, a naughty boy. Naughty! What's that you got there? Huh? Give it to me. I said, give it to me. Give it. Carrying a torch for that old bag of bones, aren't you? You sick, pathetic. It's a family you want, is it? Hmm? Is that it? A normal life. A normal life! A family! Priceless Egyptian mummy stolen.
Look at that, ain't that a show?
One should never argue with Lady Luck. Now should one?
We need to talk, Doctor.
Just a few more hands, Mr. Sickles.
Now. Over there. Hey. Start explaining, Doctor.
Of course you're upset. You have every right to be upset.
You didn't win that mummy in any card game. You stole it off a boat in New Orleans. What for? The necklace?
Well, I hardly have much use for a 4,000-year-old dead woman, now do I?
And why didn't you just take the damn thing?
Now, look, you don't understand. There's a curse.
You must be kidding.
No, it's true. Whoever attempts to take that necklace will be rendered
Rendered what?
You know, unable to procreate, if you take my meaning.
You mean whoever takes the family jewels loses theirs? Thanks. I'll take my chances.
Mr. Sickles! You're not listening to me. I hired a man to take that necklace off. That night I found him. He was castrated.
Too bad your father wasn't. If you take my meaning.
Mr. Sickles!
Good God, Sickles.
Oh, he wouldn't die that fast. No. No, a gut jab like that, no. He would die very slowly. Fucking hours, man. He wouldn't die that fast. Like, a gut shot is one of the worst ways to go if it doesn't get fixed. And a stab is only that much more dangerous because, well, for one, too, it's the fucking loppers from that fucking place. I mean, they're not clean. So just imagine what kind of bacteria was on that. Oh my god. That'd be a miserable death.
Enoch, my boy. Seems like you've gotten out of your cage again, doesn't it? And you've been a very naughty boy, haven't you? Yes. Poor Dr. Kling. Myrna, my sweet. You two make a very lovely couple. Did I tell you that? Now, give me this, right? Come on, honey. Let me have a dear. Yeah. Come on, let go of it. You do play hard to get, don't you? Naughty boy.
Interesting.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Feely's fantastic Fairway of Freaks is proud to present a most unusual and alarming oddity. The amazing Enoch, the two-faced man. Rather let me direct your attention to our star attraction. From far off Egypt she comes, from the Valley of the Kings. Her tomb carved deep in the cliffs that overlook the ancient river Nile. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I command you to look upon Myrna, the Egyptian mummy.
Are you Ernest Feely, the owner? I'm Sheriff Hicks.
Well, if it's about the permit, I have one, I assure you.
No, sir, it's not about any permit. There's something I think you ought to see. I'm a local boy, was up and exploring. And he came across this cave here. When he saw what was inside, he came and got us. Mr. Feely. Good Lord.
What was the smell, though? What?
Oh, sorry, kiddies, but that story just makes me go all to pieces. I was a cute little terror tyke, though, wasn't I? As for Enoch and Myrna, I guess you figured out by now where I get my good looks. Old Two-Face was my daddy, and the mummy was my mommy. Oh, if they'd only lived long enough to see me become a star. We never even got a chance to play hide and go shriek together.
God, you know, when I saw that baby, I was like, God, I wonder if that's the Crypt Keeper. I was going to make a joke about that, but I'm like, nah, they wouldn't do that. But no, clearly they did that. Thank you very much for watching my video all the way to the end. This, in fact, was the origin story of the Crypt Keeper, which I feel like it is a good origin story. Because he comes from just an incredibly sad background. If Myrna really was a slave that was buried alive, and his father was a sufferer of, having a conjoined twin that died that actually took him, and that's what he was birthed from. That's a really terrible background, and it probably makes sense that he has such a dark humor now that I think about it. Well, yeah, that kind of adds up, don't it? Now, at the end, I didn't realize why he had died. I was thinking, like, why did the father die? It didn't really make sense to me. And again, on my second watch, I understood what they meant. And it's because he was already dying. So he was able to finally spend his last days, or day, with Myrna. And it's actually kind of beautiful, but in a sad way. Yeah, it's a beautiful sad. It's a very sad, beautiful. And I think it's kind of an interesting story. Like I said, it's a little more thought-provoking than I thought the original time, or the first time watching it. The first time watching it, it felt a little flat, and I think that's only because of the type of storytelling it was. It was supposed to be a little dreary. It was supposed to be a little dreary. It was, a little depressing. It was a sad story. And through that was birthed the Crypt Keeper. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I would change it, actually. I don't think I would change it. I might do a couple things differently, perhaps. Why do you keep interrupting me? I would do a couple things differently, perhaps. But I wouldn't... Where was I? Maybe make it a little more heavy on the dreary, depressing side. Probably make it a little spicier with the depression. Although it hit it on the hail. My God, brain! They hit the nail on the head. That's what I was trying to say. Oh my gosh! I think for the time period that they. What was that? I think the time period that this came out in for a TV show is probably about all that they could do. So, maybe I'm craving a little bit more than they probably could have done. But, I mean, other than that, it was great, so. Well, I hope that you have a lovely day. Night or evening, whatever time it happens to be, wherever you are. And I will see you next time. Product specifications and features. Product name USB flash drive. Dimensions length times width times height. 2.63. It doesn't say inches. Just 2.63. Shut up! Hi, coming towards you at the end here. So, I made a mistake and I forgot to tell you why it's called lower berth. I'm going to stop that voice. The reason why is it's a play on words. His birth was of a lower, between a mummy and someone who is dying, who had afflictions. And lower berth being their position in society. That's why it was called lower berth. It's just a play on words.